I have returned with a fresh pot of tea. I am well equipped for whatever dangers might be awaiting us on the other side of that hill. It's the sun. I will douse myself in tea to protect me from its harmful rays. There we go. Don't need that on anymore. We do need that back. Alright. We've barely used our oxygen right now. So all things said, we're doing pretty well. What's the lowest pressure that we could maintain inside a suit and be safe? Because realistically...
Power critical.
Oh, yeah. Realistically, we don't want it to be too high. I think I need to put my helmet on for it to tell me. Yeah, there we go. We don't need 60. Let's bring it down all the way to 50. Because someone was telling me, like, in a oxygen-rich environment, in a pure O2 environment, like, you want a KPA of, like, really low, apparently. I don't know if they've got some sort of background in diving. But they were commenting, I think they said like 30, but I'm not sure where the game is going to complain at me. So we're going to drop it down to 50 and just see how that goes. But the less pressure we have in our suit, the less of our air we vent whenever we take our helmet off, but also the less gas it is constantly trying to replace. So there's lots of reasons to do it. Oh, okay. Noswolf says 29.6 kPa. This is the operating pressure for the current US extravehicular mobility unit used for spacewalks, providing a balance between safety and flexibility. Then, you know, let's drop this down a little bit more then. I will drop it all the way down to... See, it's just a little bit. I'm going to push it up to 40 because that's in the 30 kind of area. But you know what? Let's see what happens if I drop it down to like 35. Let's drop it into 29, 28. I'll see how that works. Right. Was there anything else I wanted? We're gonna need some more pipes. Some more insulated pipes, actually. Silicon. We're a bit better equipped than I thought. That makes so much sense, Graknork. Oxygen makes up 1/5 of Earth's atmosphere, so if you're breathing pure oxygen, you can get away with 1/5 atmospheres of pressure, theoretically. I hadn't thought of it like that. But, like, you know, that I realize that, you know, strictly aiming for just 1/5 of the atmospheric pressure would probably mess your lungs up. They're not built for that low of a pressure. But the logic kind of it makes sense. Right, so the KPA is currently 28. That's fine. And dunk. Very good. Let's head out. Lights on. Pump. Okay. So coolant line is going to need to hook up to whatever this is. Wherever it is. Additionally, we're going to want the pressure egg. Let's say, okay, let's go about setting up the, what is it? I swear, I literally just put it down. Did I not pick it up? Oh my lord. Where did the... I swear I just had it. Where has it gone? The condensation chip. I had it. Where? Chat, what has happened? Oh, well, I'm puzzling over that one. Let's get this hooked up. That's a bit too tall. I'm going mad though, chat. Like, where is that condensation chamber? I literally just had it. Did anyone see where it went? Anyone could like check the VODs, make a clip or something, because really, where is it gone? I don't believe I interacted with the shelf. Maybe I did though. Moon mice stole it. Goddamn moon mice. Curse you. But seriously though, where the hell did it go? This is not okay. They're expensive to build. Okay, well, let's go and find this because I need... Again, they are expensive to make. I put one in there. Did I leave it in there? It had finished printing because I picked it up. Where did I put it next? Liquid pipe. Ice crack. We need those. Pipe radiator. Some insulation tape. You tricksy little devil, you, hiding in the ingot closet. I'm on to you. You are a device. Devices go in the device closet. scallywag. It's okay though. Mystery has been solved. It was, as everyone suspected, absolutely not Aavak's fault. Aavak did nothing wrong. Never does. This was, in fact, a rogue condensation unit doing rogue condensation unit things. Gas will go in on that side. Liquid will come back out the bottom. If I put it all together too close together, it'll be a bit of an issue, but so maybe I'll have that one just cross here. So it makes kind of the most sense to have it directly beneath all of this. I'll pop it there. Right, what do I need first? Wrench and 2 steel sheets. Can do. Welding torch and 2 steel sheets. Can do. Alright. Device is in place. Wiring. We're not going to need the data port, but I will hook it up anyway, just because there's no particular reason not to. But generally speaking, you're only going to need the data port if you intend to use some degree of automation. You want to interrogate the device. There you go. All of these are hooked up. That is no longer going to anything, so I can get rid of that one. I'll be a little bit more aggressive with the wire cutters because there's nothing that it'll break. There you go. All right, all of these are hooked up. Now you need to set up the chamber here. That is going to be the gas heat exchange connection. So that's going to be my nitrogen. This will be gas input connection, liquid output connection. So let's get you. I need this to come along behind. Bit too far. So either a 5 and a 3 or just a... I know. Maybe a 3. 3 comes out way too far. So, what we do here, I need a spot for this to connect the pressure. Fortunately, you're not pointing the wrong way, so instead, let's pop you there. So I'm going to need. Actually, this is awkward because I'm gonna need a purge valve around here. Let's get that set up first then. Fairly certain that I will need at least one pipe section. If I want it to be on this side, which I kind of do. Y is going to be going up. Okay. Now, what I could do is have two of them. But let's assume I only need one. Actually, there might be a better place for me to put this. If I should want another, let's say you might want to, if you are having issues with maintaining the, getting enough pressure flowing through quickly enough. I've only got one for now, so we'll just hook up one and hope, basically. But we'll see. There we go. That should remove the pressure from this, and the amount that we're going to want to remove is going to be based on what amount of pressure is required to keep this as a liquid. So let's err on the side of caution, say anything over I guess 10 kilopascals. Oh, well, 10 pascals, rather. Oh, no. Let's go up to 15. So I could have 30-degree water before it'll start condensing it. Okay, just to double check that I had that correct. Oh, actually, no. Specifically, I do want it down at 20, so let's set it up correctly. 11.9. Let's call it 12. So I'm not sure I can do 11.9. I might be able to, though. 11.9? Can I set it with that kind of granality? That's 11. So let's go for 12 then. Oh, no. It is set correctly. Okay. I'll take that, I guess. So the purge valve allows for the removal of pressure and gas and evaporated liquids from a liquid pipe. Similar in function to the back pressure regulator, the purge valve moves gas from the input liquid pipe to the output gas pipe, aiming to keep the pressure on the input side at the target amount. So we're aiming to keep it at exactly 20 degrees. It occurs to me that there is a possibility that this will have too much. You know what? There is also a tiny possibility that instead what will happen is we will end up with liquids being made in that pipe. I don't believe... Yeah, in that case, I'm going to need to have a condensation valve, bring it back down. Okay, I can't go out there anymore. What else do I need? Ice crusher can go upstairs. Where is the liquid regulator? I'm getting a better idea now of where all these pipes are going. So there's going to be a pipe there. Wow, is that all of the... Oh, okay, it is. I need a few more then. We're going to want, depending on the direction that this goes in, if you were pointing down, oh, you do point that side. Okay, that's good. It's very good for us. Never mind. Life is pain. I could have it anchored to this wall though. That shouldn't be too much of a problem for us, realistically speaking. Yeah, we'll anchor it to that wall. Get the wiring through here. We can do that now. Can you fit all the way through? You can. Marvelous. We just need that to come up. I'll have an idea of how much this should keep the pipe pressure. How much volume of liquids it should keep in this pipe when I know what the percentage is of that. So I need a condensation valve and I need a couple more insulated water pipes. So, kit valve. Actually, no, it wasn't in the kit valve, was it? Condensation. Or was it? No, it was. Never mind, I shouldn't doubt myself. One of those. Teamwork says, of note, temperature affects pressure, but pressure does not affect temperature unless phase change occurs. Oh, no, the reason why I wanted to be specifically coming out at a pressure that is fit for, or rather, the condensation chamber will store pressure up to the point that it can achieve the desired change, and then output that. I want it to be only pressuring up to that amount, not overpressuring, because it can drink a lot of gases otherwise. We wanted, let me just bring that back. The pipe. Insulator pipe. There we go. We just want a stack of those, ideally. Oh man, there definitely was a valve over there, wasn't there? No, never mind. Yeah, yes, there was. Okay. I should have used that. Is this StarCraft music? No, it's Hardspace Shipbreaker. By the way, is there an end game you're working towards? Oh, once we're done with all of the cool stuff that I might have in my mind to work on. It's got a similar kind of space western vibe, so it doesn't surprise me that it reminds you of StarCraft. It's probably enough for what we need. Oh, no, we don't want to go down that way. I'll get stuck. Go down this way. I will not get stuck. There we go. So, as I'm pulling the over-pressurized gas out of this pipe into this one, if this isn't keeping up for some reason and it starts to over-pressurize here, it would potentially become a liquid again. This will take care of draining that liquid. Okay, so you did in the end need the 3. Yeah. It is unfortunate that that's going to be hidden, but there is so little I can do about it. I'm working with a very tight space here. I will still be able to get around to look in on this, though. That's the main thing. There we go. Now that's the entire coolant line as it stands. So what have we got? We have got CO2, nitrogen, oxygen, volatiles, NO2, pollutants. Whoosh. I'm just going to assume that there's never any water in this line. There might be, but it will actually pass all the way through all the filters and then get flushed out into the vacuum space. We shouldn't have water building up in there because the ice for the for our water system should be quite specifically gathered through the ice crusher. It shall live up here. Oh, do you need a frame to go down? Oh, okay, you do. All right. Okay. A little bit of a pain in the bum, but not the worst, not the best. It just is. I could have them outside. I could temporarily put a frame down there to support it. Maybe I should. Maybe even not temporarily. I could just have an empty frame to support the ice crusher. Because I'd need one on both sides. One to run all of the gases. One pipe to go to the gases there. Liquid in here. And then another ice crusher that just does gases. Yeah. Since I'm gonna, and I wanted to be inside so that, regardless of whether the sun is out or not, it'll work. Well, I know that I want it to be at least one. Well, actually, no. The other ice crusher is in there, and I can leave it in there for now. Go get it in a bit. The main one is positioning this current ice crusher. The one specifically for water. Firefly, best space western anyone could ever ask for. I mean, that's a very broad definition. Space western. What does someone mean when they say space western? You know? Because they could mean just in a, you know, maybe just the vibe, maybe the aesthetic vibe of space western, in which case you'd even start to be able to include Cowboy Bebop in there, and now you've got some stiff competition. You need to be much more specific. Much more specific. Demonwork says Trigun is both more space and more western than Firefly. Oh yeah, okay, fair. That's actually a good point. I didn't even think of that. Don't know why I didn't think of it, but fair. All right. What was it that we needed? What else did we need, chat? Steel frames. Want 2 steel frames. I'm not going to be building anything in them, but I just need them. At this point, though, I think we're actually at the stage where I can weld all of that in again. But if I put the frame here, it gives me a framework to attach devices to, which is going to be quite necessary. Also, let's go ahead and let's weld this. Double weld. Pretty certain we now have everything we want where it needs to be. If I don't, it's okay. It's just power. I'm getting that free from the sun. Don't want to waste it, but it's not desperately bad if that happens. Wow, ran out of sheets, okay. Gonna need to go and get some more then. But first, let's get the ice crusher in place. Did I paint the pipes? Did I paint the pipes? Did I paint the pipe? Did I? No, I didn't. Or did I? Did I paint the pipes? I did paint the pipes. I painted the pipes. Okay. We're fine. I was thinking about painting the water pipes blue, but I mean, the pipes are already blue. It's only if they weren't going to be carrying water would I need to faff around with that. Once for the nitrice, I will need to faff around with though. Sheets, please. Trigon is amazing. The original story is a must-watch read. Is the anime particularly good for that? It like faithful to the story? Because I haven't read it. Okay, I will make a point of trying to get hold of that then. I'm watching Farscape at the moment. So good. I did a rewatch of that like 5-6 years ago. It was a good time. It was such a good time. What's the mod command again? Station mods. At least I believe it is. Right. So, ice crusher up here. Don't need the data port, but oh no. We'll have to go over here then. That's very annoying. Where's one of this? ice crusher will have to go here as well. Oh, how am I going to make this work? No, I can make that one work. That one's fine. It's this one that's the problem. Sure. I'm going to need some pipes, I believe. Iron sheet, okay. I have exactly one. Perfect. Almost like it were planned. Now, as for power, I will do that from below. Meanwhile, let's just get you immediately going down. The pipes. We'll have to run a slightly different way, but it's okay. Now, it is imperative that the only thing we ever put into that ice crusher is water. If this were at the point where I was demonstrating automation a bit, I would be able to showcase how to ensure that that's always the case via having a chip that is always, that basically takes away user operation and just is always checking the input for what it is, and if it is ever not water, refuses to crush. But we do not have that, so we'll have to just make do with what we've got. That is deeply unsatisfying. I refuse. There we go. Now, running across this gas pipe. Bit tricky. But certainly not impossible. Okay, that's only a 3, so I'm not saving anything by using that. If that were a 5 or a 10, it might be worth me rerouting in some way to ensure that I don't have to split that up. But a 3 gives me no benefit. There's no cost benefit to using a 3 over 3 1s, if that makes sense. Too long. There's also no benefit to using 110 over 2 5s. As 1 5 is already giving you a discount of 1, and a 10 simply gives you a discount of 2, so... Would I prefer the pipes running behind? Yes, I would. Okay. That will be the water ice crusher. the nitrogen that's in ice will immediately go for storage and processing. Ores, water ice. A little bit of nitrogen in it, so I do need to create a waste gas connection for it. The pipe being that close to the ceiling of the floor below, it's not ideal. But I am okay with it. Okay. Now I want the other ice crusher will be going here. Maybe in the same way. Maybe connecting up just over here. But unlike the system we have on that far side, actually maybe taking that, oh yeah, taking that back from the wall would have been a better decision, because it would be able to hook up to this pipe as well. Okay, let me go and rewire, replumb that one. Rewire. It's all about making the best use of the connections that I have. Well, in that case, so I'll be doing something basically the same. That's right in the middle. This would be going up there. No particular reason to have that pipe coming straight down then. It all connects up in the same place. If I do this. There we go. Connection there. And we will have this turn this way and just connect in. Perfect. Which means that's no longer needed there. That's just a water connection, so not. Oh, other way. There we go. Right. That connects up to the waste coming out of the base. Also the waste from the jetpack, from the suit. Then connects up to a potential ice crusher. This now just needs to connect up here. Well, I could have only gotten an extra 3 out of that, so I don't need to worry. If I could have gotten a 5, I would have torn it all down just to save on a pipe. All right. That is looking actually quite good. It's so much cleaner here now. That's visible for me to interact with. Now, there is one tricksy bit, and that's this waste pipe needs to be filled with nitrogen. And to bring the nitrogen in, I'm probably going to want a pump. Like I'll fill a nitrogen canister and then dump it into the pipe, because I don't need it to be getting regular deliveries of nitrogen. So I don't need to hook it up to this. I guess I could. I suppose I could have nitrogen be delivered directly. But do I want to go to that effort? That's a lot of pipe to do just one task, when instead I could just use a tank to occasionally charge it if there is a need. I mean, it does remove human error from it, I suppose, but gonna need you to connect up to the power. Which is just down there, which I should be able to make go like this. And just straight across. That wire is right there. There we go. That's all hooked up now. So far, so good. Almost everything is hooked up to power. Right, let's go and set the did I set the condensation chamber up? No, I believe I only set this to remove pressure from in here if it's exceeded the amount of pressure I actually want in there to keep the liquid as a liquid. So we're going to want to set up the condensation chamber here to the target pressure. Let's bring that up a second. Exchanger. Basically, we want to set the pressure in here to the desired pressure of the gas. Sorry, of the liquid that we want it to be. So for 20, it would literally be 11.9, I think it was. Yeah, 11.9, and that should trigger a phase change from steam. 11.9. There we go. We'll just assume that that's correct. Welcome back, Lady She-Lab. I hope your video went well. Okay. So with that done, I just need to hook up the ice crusher there, but that'll be the very final thing we do once everything else is done. But also need to hook up the nitrogen over here. Now, this is a relatively clean system, and I could take this away now, since everything is hooked up where I need it to be. I guess I could have the nitrogen chimney over here. Sure. This the tank filler does not have an internal capacity, so it's only not airtight if the insulated if the tank that you're connecting to it isn't insulated. And since I'm going to be using the Mark II tanks, that will always be the case. It is going to be ugly, but we will hopefully survive. Honestly, since this room is going to be inside, I don't actually need it to even have a nitrogen chimney. Wait. Okay. The reason why you would want that is so that the sun can occasionally shine on the radiator. Okay, yeah. I was going to say nitrogen chimney would be a bit of excess planning, but no, we do in fact need it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. We're going to want a pressure regulator. Though honestly, a single charge from the canister would be enough. But we do want a pressure regulator. And I also want... this. A lot of extra pressure, just in case. So now I need a new pressure reg. In fact, I'm going to need a load more pipes too. That'll be enough for a 10. We are building the chimney from that point as a 10. Okay. I'm going to need more pipes then. I'm going to try and standardize the length of chimney that we make. A full tile is 5 tall. Really? Exactly 5 tall? Huh. In that case, then, I do in fact want that to be 5. And I'm going to have to do that from inside because the... Actually, no, I don't.
Power low.
Hisht, it is not. You're lying to me, as you always are. The EVA suit that cried wolf. There we go. And from there we want 10 up. Oh, it's awkward to get the positioning sometimes. There we go. Oh. We will have radiators all along the length. Probably not that many, though, because we don't want the temperature to drop too fast. Honestly, I could use regular pipe instead of the insulated if I really wanted to. But this way, if there is a problem, I can simply run over and pull the radiators off. And because it's an insulated system, it stops shedding heat at that stage. Better to cry wolf and be wrong than to not cry wolf and be dead. Yes, yes, no, I appreciate that. But the suit is lying to me. That's not being wrong. That's telling fibs. Big gnarly fibs. Gold, iron and copper. The funny thing about the story about the Cried Wolf is that the moral of the story is actually that there was a dangerous wolf running around. No. We all know what the moral of the story of the Boy of Cried Wolf was. Aavak was very clear about that. The moral of the story is not, as Bashir would like to suggest, that you do not tell lies. It's that you don't tell the same lie twice. What else do we want? We want some radiators. Actually, I might have some radiators. Pipe radiator, yep. Garrick was very clear on this. The story has two teachings. One, do not lie, and two, never ignore issues. No. You seem to be burdened with the assumption that the fact the boy was eaten was a negative for the town. The wolf ate the boy, didn't eat the sheep. Though Garrick is also correct, as always. No, of course, there's lots of... I mean, the thing is that anyone who... Okay, I'm going to pause this here. I had a friend in school, and there was a bit of a kerfuffle and arguments, and everyone was getting involved, and the boy who cried wolf was brought up. But the shining point in that thing, it was like, oh, the boy was brought up as like, oh, well, you know, this person keeps telling fibs all the time. I keep making stuff up, so why should we believe them? Okay, that is a fair argument to make. They are known for embellishing facts. They are known for raising alarms where there is no alarm. The alarm in question was so-and-so was seen with such and such's girlfriend. Oh, they must be up to shenanigans. Okay, but this person was kind of known, there's no polite way to put this, as a shit stirrer. And so the argument was made. They cried wolf. You know, this is just a clear case of the boy cried wolf. The problem is, if you use that argument in that context, you're doing the fight for the other person. Because at the end of the tale, the boy was telling the truth. So using that, holding that up as basically brain shortcut, don't believe this person, they always fib. No, that's the wrong example to use to try to make that particular point. The boy was telling the truth in the end. Shepherds don't grow on trees. There are fine of those. It's fine. I'm sure his parents had a lot of fun making a new one. Right. Back pressure regulator and pretty much just empty the tank. But I could use it for partial fill. Aavak! What? What? I'm sure they did. Didn't say they didn't grieve the loss of the first one. But I'm just saying, you know, sometimes you just got to look at the bright side. Yes, their first son was a liar and then got eaten by a wolf. But I'm sure they learned many lessons in bringing up that son. And the next one won't be a liar.
Hydration critical.
Okay. Pipe ready to charge. The coolant system in place. Purge valve set. Right, the next thing I need to do. That's got an 800 litre capacity. Let's set this to 1% then. I'll put 8 litres in there as an initial charge, and then we'll increase that up a little bit. Actually, you know what? Sure, let's pop it up to 5%. There we go. We'll put 40 litres of water into this pipe as a buffer against the heat. That should need an enormous amount of energy to shift to dangerous levels, so I'm not going to worry about it. I think a single purge valve should be enough to handle all of that. Hey! It's our centennial anniversary. Oh, well, it was 2 days ago, but it's fine. I was busy. Also, there's a storm on the way. But centennial anniversary, everyone! We made it over 100 days.